You are listening to Dash, an interlude, The Case of the Ghost and the Hidden Tomb. Chapter 1, The Offer.
Sometimes to go forward, you gotta go back. To make sure you saw everything you needed to. To make sure you heard everything clear. To make sure you got it all right. Even when everything went so wrong.
You didn't go to Egypt to take in the sights. Someone sent you.
Aren't you from Old Money, Mr. Ponderosa?
Will you cut the crap, or I might just shoot you anyways.
Well, Plink, old boy, welcome to Egypt.
After all, you're on an expedition. Why not go exploring?
Place is more of a mess than last time. All right, you son of a gun, where'd you put it? No. No. What is this? The Ouroboros? Jesus! I guess even the deceased get phone calls. No one's home. Hello? Anyone there?
I thought you'd never pick up. Still on the line?
Who is this?
Do you really need to ask?
I said, who is this?
You know who this is.
I think you got the wrong number, sweetheart.
Don't play games, Johnny. You were never very good at them.
I was never... Maybe it's because I never cheated at them, like you did.
Never is stretching the truth a bit.
You don't know anything about the truth.
You're a fine one to be lecturing anyone.
I'm not lecturing. I don't even know who you are.
Tell me, how's Spence?
Spence?
Yes, Spence.
Don't.
Your nephew.
I know who he
Full
is.
name is Spencer Doran Butter.
Don't you dare say his name.
I was only asking how my...
You don't get the right to ask about him. Ever. Not after what you did, you tramp.
Ah, he does remember me. But be careful with the name calling, sticks and stones and all that. What's it you're going by now? Plink?
Better than Scorpion. What's that supposed to be? Scary or something?
You'd be wise to fear me.
Oh, I'm afeared right now, quaking in my boots. Well, this sure has been fun. Let's never do it again. Goodbye.
You hang up and my next call is to the LAPD. I'm sure they'd love to know what a humble antique shop owner is doing in the office of a dead man. I hope you understand now that I mean business.
How'd you find me? You got a tail on me or something? Maybe one of your mindless goons
Believe it
that
or not, I like to keep tabs on you.
I bet.
I'll give you credit. It's not always easy, especially as of late. How was your trip?
Not sure what you mean.
Egypt. Let's start there.
Start there? I don't remember when the last time I traveled...
You were just there. I know you were.
What do you want?
I want to know what you found.
Was I looking for something?
Stop it with the games.
Who's playing games? And if I was in Egypt, it was on business. My own.
And again, that's a stretch. You didn't go to Egypt to take in the sights. Someone sent you.
Artie Ponderosa sent me.
Artie Ponderosa is dead.
Artie Ponderosa brought this into my life.
Weren't you the one who came into his?
Think you know everything, do you?
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're a real piece of work.
I think that may be the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
It wasn't a compliment.
But I'm not wrong. Pawning off crap to Artie's witless grandmother, convincing her they were priceless heirlooms. Quite the operation you had going.
She has a big, beautiful house in the hills. I was helping her refurbish.
Is that what you call it?
You take the little jobs till you can catch the big ones.
And you hadn't caught one in a while. Not after what happened in Sudan.
Sudan?
Oh, I get it. I'd imagine after what happened, you'd want to stay out of any foreign affairs for a long, long time.
To reiterate, that would be my business, meaning not yours.
It's just a pity to see such talent reduced to hiding away in a shop, fleecing the rich, old, lonely ladies of Los Angeles just to scrape by.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh, right. And why is that again?
Again, none of your business.
It's the detective, Dash Malone. Gotta say, he does take a good picture. I see the attraction.
Shut up about Dash. I mean it.
Johnny, the repellent entanglements that you have with men behind closed doors don't interest me.
Then why bring it up?
Because the only reason you crossed paths with Dash Malone was because Artie Ponderosa hired him. He hired him to get you away from his family inheritance.
Family.
Why on earth would he be sending you around the world on a mission of this importance?
If you know as much as you say you do, then you already know the answer to that question.
Do I?
You do. You threw in with me because he knew I was the best.
And how did he know that?
Guess you're not going to let me hang up until I tell you.
Look at that! You're finally catching on.
It was at this office less than a month ago.
Come in,
Mr. Ponderosa.
Mr. Plinketts.
The name is Johnny. My friends call me...
I don't give an artichokes behind what anyone calls you.
Do artichokes have behinds?
Sit down.
Alrighty.
I don't want to be talking to your abysmal face. Let me get that clear.
Crystal.
What you pulled over on my grandma, the amount of money you took her for, you're lucky I don't shoot you on the spot.
Mr. Ponderosa, I apologize if you imagined I had any ill intentions toward your grandmother. What an amazing woman. Do you mind if I ask, how is she doing?
Will you cut the crap, or I might just shoot you anyways. We both know you were scamming her. Ain't no use in denying it. You're here because it's come to my attention you're not just a grifter.
Sir, I'm just a small shop owner.
Shop? Is that what it is? Or is it just a cover for something else?
Something else? Like what?
You're running an illegal...
Illegal? Mr. Ponderosa, if it wasn't for your grandmother, I wouldn't be sitting here taking these insults.
And the act, my grandma likes her antiques and curios, but I too have an appreciation for antiquity, specifically the artifacts that have been left behind, or those yet to be uncovered.
Runs in the family, I guess.
My interest isn't aesthetic, it's value.
Value?
The fortune people will pay for a treasure yet to be uncovered.
Aren't you from old money, Mr. Ponderosa?
Old money can't even come close to what I'm after.
And what's that?
I don't want to be involved with the likes of you. It makes my skin crawl and my stomach curdle.
What's the matter with me? I'm gay, I'm lovable, and I got good teeth.
I ought to knock a few of them out. Hiring Dash Malone may have got you off my back, but he gave me nothing.
What do you mean he gave you nothing?
He said he took care of it. He took care of you. Imagine my surprise a few weeks ago when I passed a run-down antique shop on Broadway to see you.
I wouldn't call it rundown.
And him working away in the shop.
He's a lot stronger than he looks. He helps me move inventory around from time to time.
I found out what kind of inventory you really deal in. Dash Malone ain't the only PI. They're a dime a dozen in this town. So I had a look into you, a real look into you. And imagine my surprise to discover you're just the kind of person I need to get what I want.
Mr. Ponderosa, whatever you think you know about me, whoever you think I really am, that's not me anymore.
You owe me.
Do I?
I'll go to the police. I'll expose you for what you really are.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Ponderosa. That'll get you nowhere. Give your grandmother my very best.
Don't you dare leave.
You know, I do need to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'd never know Dash Malone. He took me out of that life you want me to go back into. It's not worth the price of going back.
It's not?
No. He's worth more than that. He's worth everything.
But you don't have everything, do you? What if I could change that?
What are you saying?
This town hates the both of you. You run in the shadows hoping not to be caught, just trying to survive. He takes the scraps that people throw his way, which isn't often. You act like a legitimate business person, but we know you're not. You just as soon con a rich old lady or pickpocket a man's wallet. Or steal something else. Something bigger. That's what I'm offering you, Mr. Plinketts. Something bigger. A chance to start again. Away from it all.
And the very next day, I was on a plane to Egypt.
Must have been hard to get a flight to Egypt. War on and everything.
Ye of little faith.
Little faith indeed.
I had a contact from the British Museum. I knew a guy who could gather a crew that could get me where I had to go with minimal fuss. Didn't hurt that he owed me one, too. He'd been known to travel off the beaten path with me. His name was Codger.
Well, Plink, old boy, welcome to Egypt.
It's hot. How long a trek do we got?
About a day or so. We'll have to camp for the night at some point.
Who's your crew?
Men who speak no English. They will not interfere as long as I pay them well. And I will not lead you astray as long as I am paid even better.
You owe me, Codger.
Ah, but this is
what? Tell me, what is this?
This is much more than any debt.
More than if a certain embassy finds out where all their missing goods went? Would it be more than that?
You are not being fair.
Then there's Sudan.
That was not my doing.
Wasn't it?
I say.
Listen, you play it square with me, and our books are clear. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be worth your while.
The Egyptian sun is scorching, but you are cold, Johnny Plinketts. I don't like your tone.
You don't gotta. These guys ready yet? We're burning daylight.
Quite cocky, weren't you?
That's funny coming from you.
I'm just remarking.
He knew what was good for him, or at least he appeared to know. We traveled most of the day and pushed on as the sun set. We didn't pitch camp until the stars were overhead. Had I paid more attention, I would have appreciated the sights. But I had one focus. It was after we made camp. That's when he made his move.
Codger?
No, not Codger. It was one of them.
One of them?
I have to wonder, how many times have you run across one of them?
Enough to know they think they're much more clever than they really are.
But useful when you know how to use them. That night, Codger pulled me aside. He thought no one was listening, but he was wrong.
When we get to Sara, do you know what you're really looking for?
Yeah, why are you asking?
Some of my men are concerned.
I thought you said there would be no problem.
There isn't a problem. But from the things they say, I wonder if this isn't a bit over your head.
Over my head? Do you know what I've done? Do you know the great things I've gotten away with?
From what I've heard of late, a man who's resorted to seducing little old ladies in California.
Didn't have a problem when I seduced you, did you?
Bah! I'm not talking about the past anymore.
What are you after here, Codger?
I'm just making sure you understand the gravity of the situation. If what you suspect we'll find is there, and you smuggle it back to America, what could follow? If one believes any of the old traditions, it could be...
Don't worry your pretty little head, Codger. Your job is to get us there. So get us there.
Indeed I will. Indeed I will.
You know,
Who's that? Who's there?
the desert doesn't make many shadows. Be wary of the ones it does. You never know what they're really hiding.
Show yourself.
I'm right behind you.
Where?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
Who are you?
I'm known by many names. But you may call me Professor Abendigo Shu.
Where'd you come from? You weren't traveling with us earlier.
Oh, I've been with you this entire time. You may not have noticed me.
I doubt I'd miss a face like that.
And that isn't even my best attribute.
That's so.
Maybe you'd like to find out. After all, you're on an expedition. Why not go exploring?
Not an expedition, more like snatch and grab.
Interesting choice of words.
Everything's a choice. We got a ways to go before we get to Sara. Better get some shut-eye.
Would you like me to join you?
What was that?
Did you want company this evening?
Why would you assume I'd want company?
Many would quiver at the opportunity.
That a fact?
It is.
Perhaps I say we quiver some other time.
Time rarely means what one thinks it does. You'd be wise to keep me close, Mr. Plinketts.
Why is that, Professor?
Because without me, you're a dead man.
You have been listening to Dash and Interlude, Case of the Ghost and the Hidden Tomb, starring Christopher Tolomeo, Cathy Mostek, Thomas Robert Irvin, Leigh Jacobs, Sara Luciano, and Carlos Jiga. Written and directed by Dave Ebersole. Sound design by Mick Lauro. Music by Christopher Tolomeo and Mick Lauro. Cover art by Vinnie Rico. Executive producer Mick Lauro. Dash created by Dave Ebersole and Delia Gable. Dash the podcast is a Light Booth Blackout production. Thank you for listening. I'm John Barker. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled. Once you know what to watch for, you always know there's more to the story.